Peace reflection. I'll let the room fill up before I start talking. Welcome back. We don't say good morning, we say welcome back. Because when you go to sleep, you go into a different dimension. Your mind is never asleep. It's always moving. Peace reflection. Okay, I have enough people in my room that I can start talking. Today I wanted to make a video because it was recently said to me or wrote to me that I have given up on my life and I have given up on everything that I know, and I ran away out of Babylon to Costa Rica, and that if I needed some help, that I should just seek professional help, but I didn't have to run away from my life. And at first, when I read that, I didn't know how to take it. My perception was like, how dare that person say that to me? Like, how dare you say that I ran away? But really, I did run away. Yes, I ran away from Babylon. I ran away from all the foolishness that is going on in Babylon. Don't matter if it's United States or another country, Babylon is Babylon. But where I was, I ran away from that. Yes, I packed my shit, I gave everything away that I possibly could, and I dipped. But does that make me a bad person because I decided to be the change? It doesn't take away from the love that I had for my family, because that's partially the reason why I did it, was because I wanted to be the example for my Babylon family that I left. Because I knew that I could not be an example for my Babylon family if I'm sitting there telling them, don't eat meat because it's bad for you, it's going to fuck up your cells, but at the same time, I'm sitting there eating a hamburger with them. I'm sitting there drinking the water with them. I'm sitting there being in the same system, going to work every day, chasing the dollar with them, but I'm like, you got to live right. What does that look like? It's a walking contradiction. And that's all I was in Babylon, was a walking contradiction. I had every opportunity to do the right thing, but because I wanted to fit in, because I was afraid to be alone, I didn't want to be secluded, I just followed along with everyone else. So yeah, I did run away from the life that I had in Babylon. And I wanted to come back to nature. Because when I was in Babylon, I was programmed to think a certain way. But now I decided to leave and come back to nature so I can get reprogrammed to who I really am. To be connected. To get back to the source. And when I was in Babylon, when I reached out to Master Teacher Nature Boy, I never told this story, but when I had reached out to him and we actually had a conversation, he talked to me in a way that no one ever spoke to me. He spoke to me in truth. And the thing that set it off for me was that, because I called him about my sickness, because I was sick, and I thought he had the magic pill. But he had told me that everything is in my mind. And I don't know if it was the words or it was the force of his words. But in that moment of our conversation, I was healed. And the reason why I know that I was healed, because before I spoke with him, I had this odor on me. And I used to say this odor was a stench of death. Because it was fungus. Like my insides was rotting. And I could smell it. So after that conversation, that odor went away. And one thing that he did say, he said, you have to get rid of that relationship you were in. And I know that Master Teacher Nature Boy was my higher self, because everything that I was thinking in my heart, he just articulated it and said, this is what you have to do. And I already knew that I had to end my relationship. I already knew that the way that I was eating and living, the environment that I was in wasn't right. But it took my higher self to be like, look, man, you acting stupid. You already know what you're supposed to do. It's all in your mind. Stop. Start living for the truth, because that's not what you're doing. And you sitting here wondering why you're sick. You sitting here wondering why you're confused. And it took my higher self for me to be like, damn, you're right. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it was easy, because it wasn't. For me to call the person I was in a relationship with and be like, yeah, by the way, we can't be together. No, there's no reason. There was no fight. It was the point that I decided to choose me. I decided to choose my higher self, instead of being in my lower self and going along and saying, well, I love him, I'm here, and I love him. Yeah, I know I'm sick. Yeah, I know us coming together in that way is making me sick and keep getting bacterial infections and yeast infections. But I love him. Does that sound familiar? Like, have you ever been with someone, men or women, have you ever been with someone and every time you're with them, you just get an infection? And maybe not so much for the men, because you are the ones that pushed it out, but as the woman, the archetype, we're the ones that suck all that energy in. It's that Kundalini energy. But if you don't know who you laying down with, you're gonna receive all that. So that's what was happening with me. I was receiving all of this bad energy from all these men that I was in a relationship with, exchanging energy with, and didn't even know what type of energy I was receiving. But then sitting here wondering why my ass is sick and having to go to the doctor like every month and thinking it was me. Well, it was me, because everything is me. That was the lower part of me. So I take full responsibility for that. But the reason why I ran away from my life, I guess that was so perfect, is because I had to come here to be an example. I had to show you, my lower self, my Babylon family and friends, that it can be done. We all know the truth. We all know we do not belong in Babylon. We all know that the sun is where we get all of our energy from. Fresh air. We know that. And no, you cannot get it in Babylon. Yeah, you can go into the forest, but it's not the same when you leave, get closer to the equator, seclude yourself from all the bullshit. Because I know when I was in Babylon, I was distracted. Because you have television, you have all this entertainment, if that's what you entertainment to contain you into the illusion. And I was distracted. And I had all these people around me telling me a lie. And I fell for it. But this time, I didn't fall for it. And I ran. I didn't walk out of Babylon. I ran out of Babylon. Okay? Because the day that I left, I called my Babylon mother. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm out. That was it for me. So that's why I came to Costa Rica. And the reason why Costa Rica makes sense, because it's eco-friendly. And it's beautiful here. And also it was said to me that on camera I looked sick, or I looked like not there. And there was a reason for that too. Because before I came here, I had a perception that I thought that this was going to be a unity, beautiful, and positive energy. And when I got here, it was that, but there was a blockage. And I didn't know where that blockage was. I thought it was me. I was blaming, I internalized everything. That's in my astrological makeup. I'm a thinker. I internalize everything. Even if it's not me, I think it's me. But that's just because I take on other energies. But then I know, as I continue to know myself and learn myself, I will know what energy is mine and what energy isn't. And so when I got here, it was just some bad energy, and I didn't know where it was. And the bad energy, that it was energy that I was around for most of the time that I was here at first. And then eventually, as time, progressed, as you saw on the videos, where that bad energy was, where that disconnect was. And so the whole time I'm sitting here thinking it was me and it was other entities. But now that energy, that resistant energy is not here, it's like a breath of fresh air. I don't know if you can tell, like, I have more color in my skin, my bags are going away, and I just feel so lighthearted, But then also, being in this environment, it's a closed off, simulated environment. And coming here, I'm gonna tell you right now, coming here, you have to face your demons. Don't come here thinking that you're not gonna have any demons, because in Babylon, you're distracted. So you're oblivious to yourself, and you got all these people around you taking all these energies, and you don't even know who you are. So being in this included environment, I'm able to really connect with myself. Like, truly connect with myself. And so as I'm doing that, I am seeing things about myself that wasn't there before, or that I wasn't paying attention to. And here, you have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, you're going to be stuck in purgatory, to where you think you want to leave, or you think you want to stay, and you don't know where you want to go. But it's like one foot in, one foot out. And that's what I was dealing with. And I choose not to hold on to the past, because all you have is the present. And I want to truly be present in the present. And so now that I'm continuing to learn myself and study myself, and the way that I do that is through my birth chart, and learning my debilitations, and learning how I think, and learning how my mind, my brain articulates my heart, which is my Venus articulates, like my Mercury articulates my Venus. Things are starting to become more clear, but I know it's going to take time for me to continue to know myself, but I'm completely open. There's no resistance to that. So I just wanted to bring some clarity to that for myself, because I wanted to make sure. That's why you have to speak. You can sit here and conceptualize all you want to about what you should do, what is right and what is wrong, but if you don't live it, if you don't take action, it doesn't become real. It's just words. It's just words that goes out into the wind. And then what? Yeah, I'm just looking at y'all's comments. So I'm happy that I was able to articulate that the best way that I knew how. Right now I'm just reading y'all's comments. I'm just taking it all in. Like, this is not easy, like, to come on camera and just talk and share. But the more that you do it, the more you become open. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. LaCourte, you shouldn't believe everything that you hear, but if you choose to, that's your choice. So I'm going to get off here and continue to follow me. Share this video. You know, give me your heart. And again, I love myself.